Now we have the felicitation ceremony. I request Dr. K.J. Sudhi from Institute of Central University of Tamil Nadu. May I request Dr. K.J. Sudhi from Central University of Tamil Nadu to felicitate Professor Shiva Prasad sir. Now I request Dr. Dr. Devraj from Tumkur University to felicitate Professor Vangaya R. Desai. May I request Dr. K.J. Sudhi from Central University of Tamil Nadu to felicitate Professor Vaidya Vinod Kumar. I request Dr. Shiva Puji Koti from Bangalore to felicitate Professor Ravi Shankar sir. Thank you, sir. I request Professor Shiva Prasad from Cochin University of Science and Technology to take over the session. Sir, please.
Vanakkam and good morning to all. ABRSM, in association with Unnata Vidyabhyas Adhyapak Sangh of Kerala and Tamil Nadu Higher Education Teachers Association, is organizing a big national seminar at Coimbatore. We are entering the 6th technical session, and we have two eminent speakers. Venkapaya Desai is the director of IIT Dharwad, and Dr. Vaidya Vinod Kumar TG, he is the senior scientist in Jawaharlal Nehru Tropical Botanical Garden Research Institute at Thiruvananthapuram. Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, my dear delegates and others. The topic of this session is indigenous technology connecting with modernity. The very topic, I was a bit confused. I shall be very brief because this is running too late. So I was confused with the topic. Is this indigenous technology, or whatever it is, Indian technology, Bharatiya technology, is an obsolete technology? The topic suggests there should be a connection between modernity and indigenous technology. But I think, is it obsolete? Is it depleted? Absolutely not. It is very, very relevant. It is modern. But the usage has been slightly come down. We are not using our own treasure. We are not taking out. That's a problem that we are facing now. Yesterday, Manya Lakshmanji and also our Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu mentioned about what happened after independence. We had a good tradition. The Indian tradition is supposed to be the best tradition, ancient tradition in the entire world. But after independence, that tradition was overlooked and we embraced the Western tradition. That was a big mistake. Lakshmanji was narrating about that particular juncture when we changed from one system to the other system. We had all freedom and we had all courage to do that, but we didn't do that. There was a rhetoric immediately after independence that suggested that with malice towards none, that was echoing the entire nation with malice towards none. But some hidden agenda was inside that rhetoric that was nothing with malice towards one. That one was Bharatiyata or Sanatan Dharma. There was a declaration, this was a declaration to discard Indian ethos and Indian tradition and take the Western tradition. That definitely hurt our sentiments, our technology, our development, our art, our science, everything. So if we can take back that tradition, which was discarded immediately after the independence, we would be able to come up in a big way in modernity, whatever it is. Indian tradition is nothing but modernity. There are many, many, many examples that even we can draw from our day-to-day life. Are we going for that? That is a question of the hour. If we see the education system, you should be connected to the politics. Right from 1952 to 1984, if you look at the names of the ministers who handled education, it was later changed to Human Resources Development. That will indicate that what was the hidden agenda behind discarding the Indian tradition. You should also follow the political history. Then we will see that we are alienated from our own system. Are we courageous enough to introduce that lost system in our curriculum, in our day-to-day life, in our arts, technology, science, and social living? We will be in a big position and we will become the world Vishwa Guru. I will narrate one example. One incident happened in my life, then I will stop. In August 2022, I got a call from one of my students who was working in Indian Navy. Sir, I need a person, name of a person and some details about a person who had been working in the traditional Kettu Vallam. Kettu Vallam, probably in Tamil also the same name. It is stitched boat. This was a traditional board building technology of the ancient times. I need a person who still follows Kettu Vellam technique. So with my students, I searched entire from Kalikavala to Kasargod. I searched who is now still doing the Kettu Vellam business, the traditional stitching business. And I found a person, very poor fellow, whose family has been doing this Kettu Vellam business for last 200 years. His name was Peter. I went into a house near Cochin. That house was in a dilapidated condition. There was no room for a board building there, but somewhat he extended his board to the street, and he has been building the Kettu Vellam stitched board for 100. His family has been doing it for that past 200 years. So I got this information, I got some videographs and photographs, and gave it to the naval officer who called me. I said, what is this? What is this for? And he said, it is for a museum of all traditions, technical traditions of the Indian continent. Then there was nothing. No news came after, even after 1 year, nothing came. But suddenly, one phone call came to me from PM's, Prime Minister's office, that this man's address is correctly to be located, he is to be located, and his name and address to be given. And I gave that. And before, I think in October 2023, India government observed for the first time Vishwakarma Day. And for that Vishwakarma Day, one man came from PM's office with flight tickets, with coat, with a suit and with a boot, and took him. That person, Peter, was a very poor man. He was knowing only Malayalam. Somehow he was taken in a flight to PM's office. And on Vishwakarma Day, he was felicitated for keeping Indian tradition. That person was astonished to see PM standing before him. And on his ears, PM said something. Please wait, you're going to get world international orders in this Kettu Vellam. Later on, when I went to Delhi for some meeting, I realized that this Kettu Vellam, one of the Kettu Vellams of Kerala, was going to be rebuilt at Goa with the help of Indian Navy. And that Kettu Vellam, after building, it will be tested and it would go to the old spice routes from Chennai to Indonesia and from Cochin to Oman as a brand ambassador of Indian technical tradition. That Kettu Vellam is going to appear in the world news. So this, if teachers and others are interested, there is a responsible government to take up your traditional knowledge and make it international. Be ready for that. We have two eminent professors and experts in their own fields. Their knowledge they are going to share. I don't have anything to say. I welcome first Dr. Desai for his deliberations. Thank you.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर शिव प्रसाद. Yeah, please, the second. Fine. Vanakkam or namaskaram to all the delegates, and especially to Lakshmananji for organizing this and this one. And so here I would like to, because the topic of this session, I found it to be this presentation which I made in Karnataka University, Dharwad, the last year Teachers' Day. I found it to be more relevant. That's why I am starting with this. And then once this is over, so I will add few more things. Like Yeah, please, next slide, please. Like to mention about my own interest, how I developed interest, that is because sometime in the year 1970, when I was hardly 9-year-old boy, so my parents introduced me to an alternative Ayurvedic medicine for cough relief. That is Sitopaladi Churnam. Many of you may be knowing, and many of you may be using also. Around the same time, one of my father's friends, who हमारे ग्राम में, he was a postmaster, he introduced me to Surya Namaskar. And that's how my interest developed. And so I am practicing Surya Namaskar regularly for the past 30 years. And I am practicing Jala Chikitsa, that is water therapy, for the past 18 years, which has helped me tremendously. And this Jala Chikitsa is being taught in Germany and Japan by practicing school teachers. In Japan, it is called, it is from Charaka Samhita, Sharakas Indicus, that is the German name given to that one. And in Japan also, it is taught by practicing school teachers. When we practice something and then preach, it will have value. And so that's why they are able to save billions and billions of their healthcare dollars, healthcare money. And next is, Dr. Manikam was mentioning about Nalanda. Okay, only we have this one, and unfortunately, there is nothing in the state of Bihar other than one district is named after Nalanda. But the one who destroyed the Nalanda University Library, consisting of 2,000 teachers then and 10,000 students, Bakhtiyar Khilji, there is even now there is a unfortunate part is there is a town and there is a railway junction named after that person. Chalta hai kind of attitude, we must get out of this. Only then we can do something. And we especially, first of all, we should feel proud. And like say, for example, a 4-digit approximation of pi was given by none other than this Aryabhata, who moved from the present day Kerala, and he was an Acharya of Ganita as well as Khagola Vijnana and this one, two other fields of knowledge in Nalanda University in present day Bihar. And he has given a 4-digit approximation of pi in almost close to 500 AD. Chatur adhikam shatam, that is 4 plus 100, ashta gunam multiplied by 8, dvashashtis tatha sahasranam. Add this to 62,000. So that is the first line of his shlokam, which is in this Ganita Pada. And then even more interesting is the second line. Ayuta Dvaya Vishkambha. Ayuta is 10,000 or Dasha Sahasra. Vishkambha is another word for diameter or Vyasa. And see the beauty lies in this next word, that is Syasanno, means approximately. Vritta Parinaha, that is perimeter of a circle or circumference. So if the diameter of a circle is 20,000, then its perimeter or circumference will be approximately 62,832. And say the approximately, we know that pi is an irrational number, so that I did. How did they give? Because they did not have any instrumentation, they did not have. Because every teacher during those days were practicing their and then through their various daily yogasanas or daily routines, so they could achieve these things, simple experiments. So that is this one. And then similarly, like Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem is essentially a Baudhayana Sutra. Like the diameter of, the square of a hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides in a right angle triangle. Like here you can see here. So this is the inner, there is a inner smaller this one square, and then so there which is inscribed in a bigger square, and whose sides are A and B. And these A and B also represent the two sides of the right angle triangle. So there are 4 right angle triangles. C, the side of this one, that is the inner inscribed square is so here, like say we know that the area of the larger square is A plus B whole square, which is A square plus B square plus 2AB. Like here the area of 1, 2, 3, 4, the larger square is equal to area of the smaller square, that is area of the smaller square 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 4 times the area of each of these right angle triangle, that is this one, then it is half AB. 4 times half AB, that is 2AB. So it is C square plus 2AB, which is equal to A square plus B square. We know that A square plus B square is A plus B whole square is A square plus B square plus 2AB. Cancel out that 2AB, we get this A square plus B square is equal to C square. This is taken from Baudhayana Sutra. So next is I would like to mention about the I case in science. We know the Indian word for heart is Hridaya or Hridayam. Hridayam is Anunasika, so let us Hridaya. It is a 3-letter word with 1 yuktaksharam. It represents 3 functions of the heart. Harati, that is sucks, Dadati, that is gives, and Yanayati, that is circulates. So together that word is one. Harati plus Dadati plus Yanayati, that is Hridaya. This is the heart. See the beauty of this one. It is, so the function, that is functionality, is combined with linguistics, and then just a simple 3-letter word with 1 yuktaksharam followed by 2 other letters. Hridaya. Okay, that is this one. And then the gravitational attraction, sun's attraction, and so here in that is in Sandhya Vandana, that is during the this one, that is the Prata Sandhya, that is morning when that is the second half of the night meets with the first half of the morning. So that is Prata Sandhya Vandana that time. So there is a mantram, that is Surya Upasthanam. Upa means Samipa. That means we just face the Surya, and then this mantra is this one. Mitraha. Mitra is friend, ultimate friend. Even if when we don't have our actual friend, the Surya will be there, either physically, if it is in the either visible to us during the daytime, or this one not visible to us during the night time. Mitraha Krashti. Krashti, Karshana, Akarshana, they all have the same dhatu. So that is Mitra Krashti. Mitra is the one, he or she, whichever way you put it, is the one who can attract. And then Mitro Adhara Prathivim Utadyam. Adhara is support. He or she or Surya is the one who supports. Prathivim Utadyam means etc. That is this one is. So this is and say again, like say we know that water cycle or Jala Chakram. So Jala Chakra is half the cycle is Adhogami, that is downward moving, half the cycle is Urdhvagami. And then I would like to just quote here 2 shlokas, that is we all, many of us may be knowing, Akashat Patitam Toyam Sagaram Pratigachati. The water which falls from sky, Akashat Patitam Toyam Sagaram, it goes back, Pratigachati, to Sagaram, to sea or ocean or an inland lake also. That represents the Adhogami Jala Chakrardha. That means downward moving half of the water cycle. And similarly for the upward moving half of the water cycle, only then the cycle will be complete. That is, there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Navama Adhyaya, or the 9th chapter, 19th shloka, in the first line. It says, Krishna says, Tapami aham varsham nigrahanami utsrajami cha. That means I tapa or temperature, so I heat, and then varsham nigrahanami. I attract, that means there is the water is heated to, that is plasma state. And then, so therefore the empty cloud, there are 2 kinds of clouds. The white, light and energy, electrically charged clouds, and they get transformed into, from white in color, they get transformed into dark colored clouds, and from light they become heavy because of this one, the deposition of water, and then from electrically charged they become electrically neutral. Varsham nigranami utsrajami, srajana or srishti, that means create, that means the rain precipitation is created. Utsrajami cha means also. So this is the urdhvagami one. So like that, this is another example of this. And coming to this one, like say I have been like water channel design. There is a shloka in Mahabharata which says which lists the basic functions of a water carrying channel. Supranito jalaudhohi kurute karyam uttamam. Only a well designed channel can perform to its best ability. So and the second line, see the beauty. You should understand the beauty, only then we can create and then we can. Otherwise, we will be saying Macaulay Manasa Putras or Putris will be. So it is Andham, that means the water hydrodynamic plus hydrostatic forces, Andham, it is blind. Jadam, it is inert. Balam, that is force. Praho, see the word, probably. Pranetavyam vichakshanai, it needs intelligent handling. So this is what has been taken from one of the shlokas in Mahabharata. And then like say I was fortunate to teach integrated watershed management course for most of the postgraduate MTech and few PhD students and very few BTech students in IIT Kharagpur. So I used to start my the introductory lecture with this Yajurveda Shanti mantra, which says the word Shanti or equilibrium is used 14 times. Out of that, the 3 is one is used in the same order. Prithvi Shanti, representing soil conservation, soil or rock. Apa Shanti, representing water conservation. Oshadhaya Shanti, representing vegetation conservation. The word Aushadha, which is the Indian word for medicine, or Vaidya ji will definitely will be able to explain it better. So the word Aushadha has come from Oshadha. Earlier all medicines were plant derived. That's why this one. Oshadaya Shanti. So that is and so coming to the this one, the components of nature. Nature or Prakriti. Nature in English and Prakriti in any Bharatiya Bhasha. It has 2 things. One is internal, external as well as internal. In Bhagavad Gita, in 7th chapter, there is a shloka which starts with external nature. Bhumir apo anala vayu khammano buddhirevacha. Bhumir apo nalo vayu. Bhume we know. Apa is water. Then anala is energy or fire. Then vayu is air. And then kha is space. That is akash. So this one. Then it moves on to internal nature. Mano buddhirevacha. Mana, buddhi, that is evacha. Then the third is ahankaram. In fact, Adi Shankaracharya's Atma Shatkam also starts with this only. Mano buddhya hankara chittanina. Ahankaram itiyam me bhinna prakriti rastata. 5 plus 3. The external nature, then internal nature. Bahya prakriti plus antarika prakriti. That's how, so this is bhinna prakriti rastata. So that is, the prakriti is consisting of 8 this one. And now, like so there in Bhagavad Gita, in I think in 15th chapter, there is a shloka on assimilation. See, we eat food or we drink water through our mouth, but the energy or prana shakti goes to every organ of our body. About that, there is a shlokam which says, Aham Vaishwa Naro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita. Vishwa Nara, universal person. So Vaishwanara, Bhutva, and I reside in every animal's the body. Prana Pana Samayukta Pachami Annam Chaturvidham. So there are 5 vayus: Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. Of these 5 vayus, number 1, 2, the Prana, Apana as well as Udana, Samana, they are related to Ahara. Whereas the one, it is, see the beauty, the 5th, Vyana is not included here. The English word yawn is come from we yawn. So that is related to nidra. Pranapana samayukta pachami annam chaturvidam. So that is this one, assimilation process. Right from Nakhashikhanta we get the prana shakti. That is the cause. So that is this one. And similarly, that is even like two Uttarayana and Dakshinayan. That means summer and winter. Uttarayana is that is from Makara, Kumbha, Meena, Mesha, Vrishabha, Mithuna. These 6 solar months, Sauramana Masa. So that is Agnir Jyoti Rahashukla, Shanmasa Uttarayana. Agni is fire, Jyoti is light, Aha is daytime, Shukla is white. Shanmasa Uttarayanam. 6 months is Uttarayanam. And Dhumo Ratris Tatha Krishna Shanmasa Dakshinayan. Dhuma is smoke, Ratri is night, Tatha Krishna is dark, that is black. Shanmasa Uttarayana. That is how that has been described in another shloka in Bhagavad Gita. And then coming to this one, probability, there is one shloka which also gives about probability. It says, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhai. Among 1,000 human beings, maybe selected 1 or 2 will do some that is real sadhana or achievement. And among them, among those who do this one, very few will succeed. They could be Adi Shankaracharya, they could be Swami Vivekananda, they could be Gautam Buddha, like that. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tatvata. They reach the ultimate Paramatma, from Jivatma to Paramatma. That is mentioned. So therefore the probability of a person succeeding in the that is metaphysical or adhyatmika sadhana is less than that is 0.1%. That is so this is regarding probability. So like that, so there are ample examples, like say this one, like building technology. There is a shloka which says, Deho Devalayah Proktam. Our body is like a Devalayam, that is a mandiram or a temple, and Jivo Devas Sanatanaha, the life which has there, that is the that is Adhidevata. This one. And that is the best example of the building technology. So, and then regarding the this one, that is a definition of a description of yoga. Yoga is actually, that is Jodna. Like in Bangla, in Bengali, they say Jog Karo, they say. That means you add. So like here, this one, there are 3 definitions. Samatvam yoga muchyate. Balance itself is yoga. Balance between body, mind, intellect, and self. And then similarly, there are 2 more definitions, that is yoga karmasu kaushalam. That is dexterity. Kaushalam is skill or dexterity. Dexterity in action is yoga. And of course, Patanjali has also given the definition, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So therefore, that is how 2 definitions are given in Bhagavad Gita, and 1 definition is given by Patanjali, chitta vritti nirodha. That means thoughtlessness of mind. That is yogam, as given by Patanjali. So like that, so there are ample examples, whichever way. So only thing is, we should have faith that Indian knowledge system, the Indian one. But one thing is, the most important thing is Sanskrit is the key to Indian knowledge. So no, we all should learn, and it is very easy. Most of our names are Sanskrit names. So therefore, it is very easy. Over the years, I was fortunate to get some Sanskrit Sambhashana one also. And in fact, I would like to share. So myself and IIT Bhubaneswar director, Professor Shripad Karmalkar, as well as one IIM director, IIM Indore director, Professor Himanshu Roy. We have over the years, we have developed a skill to this one. And of course, there are many more IIT Mandi director, Professor Lakshmidhar Behra, and this one. Many more are this one. So like that, so the thing is, we need not be this one. There is ample amount of science, logic, and so the very fact that in the end of in the 18th chapter, Krishna says to Arjuna, Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. We belong to the this one group of seekers, not simply believers. So therefore, Yatha, after telling all that, Krishna says to Arjuna, Yatha Ichchasi, whatever you feel, you do. Like that. So that freedom is there. So this is, and so therefore he there are in one of the shlokas, there are 5 one Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasam. So that is simply practicing certain thing without knowing the reason, without knowing is this one. That is abhyasa, jnana is better than, this is abhyasa, this is jnana, and then dhyana is meditation. So, and then that is karma falatyaga, and then shanti. So, this is abhyasa, jnana, then dhyana or meditation, then karma falatyaga. Let us not be bothered about maine itna time kiya, spend kiya, itna energy kiya. So, thing is, if we are engaged in so many activities, then we should be, that is rather than we behind following the fruits, the fruits will follow us. And then only then we get shanti, that is ultimate peace. So these things are there. So like that, there are ample examples are there in our this one. Like say for example, I just without taking much time, like say I would like to give the example of this one. Drawing is a language of engineers. So like say I would say top view, I can quote 2 asanas, yogasanas, which represent top view. Top view is Padmasana, the lotus posture, and Matsyasana, the fish posture. In the top view, you will see either a Padma or lotus or a fish or this one. Similarly, side view, the Mayurasana, the peacock posture, or the Ushtrasana, that is camel posture. So it is a side view. TV, SV, and then FV, that is Trikonasana or Parshakonasana. So either the equilateral triangle posture or oblique or obtuse angle posture. So that is in the front view. And then similarly, there are 2 more views. There is what is called edge view. See, like this is a straight line, and in the edge view, one dimension gets reduced. So it will appear like a point. And that is edge view. Similarly, this is a mobile phone, so this is a rectangle. In the edge view, either I will see a longer side or a shorter side. And that is edge view. And then there is also what is called final is AV, that is actual view. Like say from the edge view, say if I just move 90 degree, then I will know the true length, true inclination. And then similarly here, from the edge view, if I move 90 degree, I will know the true shape, then true size as well as true inclination. That is AV. So therefore these things are there. I have been in the engineering field since 1977. So it is 47 years. I haven't, this actually, I might have taken not more than 2 or 3 minutes to explain this. This constitutes 2 chapters, the orthographic projection as well as auxiliary projection. I haven't come across a single book which combines both these. Maybe it is a time that once I get that is some free time after completing this responsibility as a then I should make my own group and then do this actually. That is the fill the missing links. That is one thing. And then I will give that is 4 examples. One from Purvi Bharat, that is Konarak. Konarak, there is a wheel. You know, in the G20 summit, most of the heads of the their photos were taken in the background of the Konarak wheel. So in half a day time, so the shadow of that shaft will move from one side of sun to the other side, half circle. It moves 180 degrees. So there actually, and so this one, and then there is a one bead. So the smallest one is one. So that one bead can measure up to 6 minutes. So therefore, 12 hours, that is 720 minutes, divided by 6 minutes, that is 120. So that means each bead is subtending an angle of 1.5 degree at the center of that shaft, that stone wheel shaft, which was used this one. So therefore, this was the level of this one. And then in the Dakshin Bharat, that is here only Brihadeshwara temple in Tanjavur, this one, the foundation is just 4 feet deep. And they transported that cornerstone of Gopuram by building a ramp which is having 8 kilometers or 5 miles of length. And then the height is the height of that Gopuram. And then through elephant Ratham, that is elephant chariot, so that was one and established there. For thousands of years, Brihadeshwara temple has successfully withstood all the earthquakes. See the beauty, with just 4 feet deep foundation in the Dakshin Bharat. And then similarly, we all know about the musical pillars, whether it is in Hampi in Karnataka or whether it is Madurai or even whether it is in many temples in Kerala and all. Like that. And then in the western Pashchimi Bharat, there is Ellora temple. Ellora temple, it is the only one of its kind, it's one which is a cutout architecture. It took 130 years, nearly 4 generations. The first generation, that is cut out only the third and top floor, sculpted only third and top floor. In the second generation, sculpted the second floor. The third generation sculpted the first floor, and the fourth and the last generation sculpted the ground floor. There is what is called sculpture and demolition waste, because even now in 2024, wherever construction takes place, there will be C&D waste, construction and demolition waste. So there, in case of Ellora Temple, it is sculpture and demolition. We don't find a single one. It has not been found. Why? Because possibly the same sculpture and demolition waste was used as a material, input material for constructing Devagiri Fort, currently known as Daulatabad Fort. And I just out of curiosity, I saw in Google Maps, I saw the distance between Ellora, Kailas temple and this Devagiri Fort. It showed 13 kilometers. Maybe even if you take the farthest distance from the farthest point to the farthest point as 3 times, it is 39 or 40 kilometers. Almost on an alternate day or a bi-weekly basis, they were managing this sculpture and demolition waste. That is the beauty of this. And coming to the last one is we talk of Leaning Tower of Pisa. In Varanasi, in Manikarnika Ghat, there is a temple, Ratneshwara Mahadev temple, a Shiva temple, which has an inclination of more than twice that of Leaning Tower of Pisa, which is 5.5 degree incline. And this has 11.5 or 12 degree inclination. You can see, do a Google search, and then not a single crack there with that. So this is the beauty. So therefore, let us have faith in ourselves. Definitely we can bring this one. Not only we will bring it, we will enjoy the labham or the benefit of this for ourselves within our body as well as outside. And then we will be able to make this one. With this, I give this one for all, my dhanyavad to all for giving me this opportunity. Okay.
The next speaker is Vaidya Vinod Kumar ji. He is an Ayurvedic doctor and he is a researcher in herbal medicines. He is working in Trivandrum. Sir, please.
Namaste to respected chairman, distinguished speaker on the dais, and very learned people out there, respected teachers. First of all, dhanyavad to ABRSM, UAS and Theta and particularly Lakshmanji, for out of love towards me, he has called me, I would say. I am the odd one out here, I am very well aware of. I am not a professor. First of all, please correct it. I don't teach anywhere because I am still learning. And I am basically an Ayurveda Vaidya by profession and still practicing physician because I don't want to leave it and I don't want to be a preacher. I would like to practice what I preach. And I would like to hear from the last one out there. This is not just going to be a conventional speech, I would say, or I don't want to be a conventional speaker in that way, because we are one family and we need to change certain things in this country. And this, I think it is 1 o'clock. I know you are hungry and I don't want to stand in the middle of your fabulous diet, food that you're going to have and your hunger. But within 20 minutes, I plan to finish off this particular thing. But before ending, I would like to certainly hear from many of you or most of you, how are you going to change towards what we look forward, because we have heard enough from our teachers, our speakers, the former speakers, and everywhere we speak about the greatness of Bharata. We have this, we have that, we have that, and we know we had all the things. Then what? 75 years down the line, and we are still talking about Macaulay. Macaulay had left long back. We got independence 75 or 76 years back. We have last for 10 years, continuing now. We have a central ministry which is favorable for Bharatiya Shastras and Bharatiya things. But still, where are we in terms of so many indigenous technologies? Where are we actually? So once I asked our Manya Dattatreya Hosabalji regarding technologies, indigenous technology, I asked him once, and he told me that during Vajpayeeji's period, they had done a survey in Bharata, and they came out with nearly 3,200 plus indigenous technologies, which includes carpentry, all whatever you can imagine. I mean, indigenous technologies, more than 3,000 plus. Don't know what happened to that particular project. I would request the chairman, honorable chairman, to really look into that matter, because that is a very, very important study, which during Vajpayeeji's period means it was around in 2000. So that is very important. Why I am saying this? I am basically a senior scientist with the Tropical Botanic Gardens and Research Institute, and I thought, when you are dealing with indigenous technology, I don't want to be the jack of all trades. My area of study is medicinal plant research, documentation, traditional knowledge, and a little bit of Ayurveda, though I have studied. Even after completion of 30 years of study and practice in Ayurveda, I would say this thing, I know maybe 5% of Ayurveda. Even Charaka says you need 1,000 births to complete the study of Ayurveda. Why I am saying this particular thing? I would like to again begin with a very famous sutra from Dakshinamurti Stotram. Chitram Vadadaror Mule, Vriddha Shishya Gurur Yuva, Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam, Shishyastu Chinna Samshaya. Being teachers, majority who are teachers here, I would slightly go off the conventional speech. What I would like to, did you understand this? Chitram Vadadaror Mule, under the banyan tree, the canvas, under the banyan tree, Chitram Vadadaror Mule, Vriddha Shishya. The Shishyas, the students or the disciples are Vriddha, aged, old. Gurur Yuva, Guru is Yuva, Guru is young. Gurustu Maunam Vyakhyanam. Guru is not uttering even one word. Complete silence in trance or complete silence. Shishyastu Chinna Samshaya. Shishya, the disciples or your students, didn't have any doubts. Nothing transpired. Nothing taught. But the students understood everything. And mind you, the teacher was young. And so that is what matters. So this was the concept of education that we had, where transference of wisdom, jnanam, was transpired even without uttering a word. Are you a teacher of that nature? Please introspect yourself. There are a lot of difference between acharya, teacher, guru, gugaras chandagaras rugarastan nirodhakrit, that who removes the darkness. Ajnana tibirantasya jnananjana shalakaya chachurunmiladam yena tasmai sri gurave nama. He just, we at ABRSM, I'm sure, looks forward to inculcate these value systems not just for preaching, but actually for practicing and bringing it into the core of in policy making or decision making thing. Why it is not impossible? We say, oh, is this possible? we at Jitnyasa ABVP program in 2015, when Central Council of Indian Medicine, which heads the Ayush systems of medicine, Ayurveda, Yoga, Siddha, Unani and Sovaripa, it was completely a chaos. It was all, a very corrupt system, and there was hardly anything moving there. Then we said, we will remove that system and we will bring in a system which is suitable for this country. National Commission for Indian Systems of Medicine, NCISM, came into being. And then we fought, literally when I was in CCI member, even Board of Governors, for 4 to 5 years, lot of debates, discussions, and finally convinced the policy makers that yes, a Gurukula system of education need to come back in the country for the effective learning process, particularly of indigenous technologies, including Ayurveda. Why? Because, now we have Kula Guru, not Gurukulas. If you say Gurukula, it is not secular in that way. You can say residential complexes. We had thousands of, Gurukulams, individual gurus and Gurukulams. People already mentioned here, can I have the thing? We had a lot of Gurukulams. Is there? It's okay, let it work. Otherwise you can change it from there. Yeah, yes. Please bring it. So, what I want to see, as we all know, Bharata was the richest country in the world until the time of British in the early 17th century, right? Bharata invented number system, zero was invented by Aryabhatta, the place value and the decimal system was developed in Bharata in 100 BC. Aryabhatta was the first to explain spherical shape, size, we know these things. But at the same time, the world's first university was established in Takshashila, and where Ayurveda was, the specialty was Ayurveda. More than 60 subjects were taught. And Nalanda in the 4th century, and Nadia, Nalanda, somebody was saying 7,500 students with 1,500 teachers, more than 12,000 people to work, and we had such great. And Nadia the specialty was Tarka Shastra. Amaravati was in present day Andhra Pradesh, I presume. Gandharva Ayurveda and Shilpagala. Ujjaini for Jyotisha. Mathura for Idihasas, and Kashi for Vedanta. These are some of the examples that you can see how proficient. Why I took up this slide. In fact, today morning, I wanted to ask, where are these specialities now in these universities? Whether at all these universities are existing or not. If not, why? What was the problem? If a particular system is not conducive or is bad or not effective or outdated, we can understand, okay, these have been removed. But what were the problems of all these ancient universities? What were the problems? Have we done an introspection into these things, like our ancient university? What was the problem of the Gurukula system of education? What went wrong there? Do you know, I don't know how you consider the Vedas and the Upanishad, the Brahmanas and the Aranyakas, Idihasas, Upanishads, and all these Shastra, the Vedangas, the Nyayam, Sankhya, Vaisheshikam, Mimamsa, Uttaramimamsa, Purvamimamsa, come on. Documented evidence is there. If scientifically speaking, you need a documented evidence. All these are there. They are just not religious or spiritual scriptures. They were also Shastras of great this thing. Our rishis were the greatest scientists. There was no Nobel Prize at that point of time. Otherwise, Kanada, Patanjali, Charaka, Susruta, all of them would have got Nobel Prize of this time. And where are we? what is happening with Bharata even after 76 years. It is high time that we started asking. We have been asking this question, but now we have already asked. Now it is a time to get into the act of how we can do it. What are the methods and methodologies that we can adopt. So ABRSM, I am sure, ABRSM should come forward. Theta should come forward. Theta in particular, I studied in Kovai. Inge dhaan padichirukku, Kovaile. Siddha system of medicine. Though I am an Ayurveda person, I regard very high for Siddha system of medicine. There was a Brahmananda Swamigal who was here, Singanallur, not very from PhD, people must be knowing, very close to PhD. After completion of Ayurveda, I studied with him I was with him for 1 year, staying in his house as a Gurukulam. He used to take me to, Shivagangai, I don't know if any Siddha physician is here, to get the Muppuchunnam, a salt, you get from Shivagangai. Kovanur Pottalile, Kundumani Amman Kovilile, Saga Muli Padandirikku Sandukumi Adingadi. What is that Saga Muli? You go to Shivagangai. How many of you know that in Shivagangai there is a very precious medicine which is found there, which is used in many Siddha systems. The present Siddha physicians don't know. Nanotechnology chairman, when I met a few years back in a conference, Nanotechnology Commission is based in Chennai. I asked, sir, you are talking about nanotechnology, the latest happening. What is the current research? What is happening there? He said, we are looking at the world view and we are having, what is happening in the nanotechnology in the world. Sir, you are sitting on a treasure trove of a system called Siddha system of medicine. Metallurgy, which was, mastered thousands of years back by the 18 Siddhas in particular, Agasthyar, Bogar, and all these, great sages of yore, and who had crystallized all in Agastya Samhita. There are Bogar Elairam and Bogar Padmuvairam. There is a classical text. Well, you will not understand as a Tamilian. You should know Sen Tamil to understand that. And there it is written. Even the present day Tamilian don't understand what is Bogar Samhita. Written by Bogar Muni. And there are all these things which clearly says how, even mercury can be crystallized. How many chemistry teachers here know how to crystallize mercury? Can you eat mercury? I have seen, I have tasted what has been solidified mercury, rasam, by a neighbor here. He is no more, Brahmananda Swamigal, here in Kovai. And, when I was a translator for him in IIT Powai in Mumbai, I am talking about 94, 95. IITians are great. I'm sorry, sir, not disregarding you. But they know everything in the world, they think. But unfortunately, I was told recently, even the IITians are not preferred much in many international, in many, in other countries, because they want a skill. It is not about just theory that you learn. They want what you know. If I'm an Ayurveda physician, I should know how to heal. I should know how to treat. Just blabbering, talking about a system which I don't practice, what is the use? So that is where it comes into. So I was translating for him, and they were chemistry people. He had solidified mercury, and he ate it and showed it to him. He knew only Tamil, so I had to translate at that time in English. And then he had solidified even salt. Salt can be solidified, and so many things. He just showed all these things are possible. This is not magic. It can be done. And then suddenly a chemistry student wanted to know how it is done. He said, "Nee va, nan unakku solli thare." At that time, you come, I'll teach you. No, he said he wanted to know it then. Please show me. He said, he again very humbly said, "Ninga vaanga, nan solli thare." Then after 2-3 minutes, he considered this Brahmanda Swamigal to be some outdated. He was wearing a mundu like me, and they thought he's. I said, "Can I speak for you?" Then he said, "Yes." I said, "How many years do you take to complete your IIT degree, a graduation or postgrad? 4 years? 5 years? Yes." So it takes 5 years, 4 years or 5 years to graduate. Then only you get the degree. Then only you learn something. He has very, fondly invited you to come and learn. That itself is great. And then it takes time. Maybe you can learn in a day if you are brilliant enough. Maybe it takes years. Maybe you will never learn it in your lifetime. That is the cut. So what I'm trying to say is, all these systems of medicine, not only Siddha system of medicine, how Siddha system of medicine was wonderfully practiced even during dengue period, even during COVID. I was told this KG hospital, very famous hospital in Chennai, no, in Kovai, they used to drink that Kabaja Kudineer. There's a combination of medicine that Siddha has, which even the doctors, the nurses, all the patients, everybody used to take in the morning and evening as like tea, kada, and it was very beneficial. And when the minister of at that time health interfered with Siddha practitioners giving medicine for COVID patients, then the High Court of Chennai asked, you can see it in the High Court this thing, that they said there is no evidence. The minister or the chief secretary said there is no evidence for what. Then the honorable judge said it is not for them to show the evidence or do the research. It is for the government to do the research and come out with things which it has been found effective with. And they have been doing. They are still doing. And you would see they had treated and cured thousands of people I know personally during COVID outbreak in Tamil Nadu as well. So what I'm trying to say is like, these things are, indigenous technologies, whether it is Siddha system or Ayurveda, not only medical systems. As I said, I'm a medical profession or being Ayurveda, I don't know about decimal system, it is for the mathematicians and the chemists and everyone to do talk about. But, what I would like to specifically tell is we should remove this colonized psyche that we have. We don't have to be told by the Harvard or the Stanford or the Oxford that, hey, you have something in you. Do you know that there are more than 50 scholars in Chicago University and Oxford University and Stanford University doing research, doing, experts in, Kashmiri Shaivism. Abhinava Gupta, how many of you know Abhinava Gupta? There are masters, they have written books, and you want to learn Bhagavad Gita in Oxford, there is something called Center for Indian Knowledge, Indology, Hindu system. I think in Oxford, in Chicago, it is there. You have to pay $10,000, $15,000 for a certificate in maybe Kashmiri Shaivism. We have Tolagapiyam here, we have Tirumandiram here, we have Tirukkural here. They are not just scriptures, but they are science pure. And I told about the 18 Siddhas who have written enormous, treatises on classical, indigenous systems of, indigenous systems. Who have gone into the depth of this? Being the teachers, being research scholars sitting out there, I would say you don't have to be told by the West, that you have to do research in this particular field or you have to teach only this. As I said, and our earliest, speaker was talking about Sanskritam. Sanskritam, yes, without knowing, I don't, even I had heard even Sanskritam professors, telling it is Sanskrit. Sanskrit is incorrect because the British could not pronounce Sanskritam. They call it Sanskrit. You go to any department, any institution in the country, any university in the country, department of Sanskrit, in that Sanskritam teaches, I often told, it is not Sanskrit. Change the word to Sanskritam, that which has undergone Samskarana. There is a meaning for that. A padam gets its artham, then only it becomes padartham. Otherwise it is not padartham, a subject. So every word, every letter has a meaning attached to. Same thing with Tamil, as old as Sanskritam, a great language, but not the one which you speak now. You have to go into the Sen Tamil to understand the depth or the core of, even Tamil literature or classics or even, the Shaivism or what we are talking about. Unless, I asked our, Chairmanji that should I speak secular or non-secular. He said you can speak unsecular, no problem. So, because we can't speak all these things, you can't say Gurukulam. You know, when in Ayurveda we introduced Shishyopaniyam, I said, you know, there was a 15-day course for the entrance into Ayurveda curriculum. Because after completing 12th standard, they write this entrance now NEET, just completed, 720 out of 720. 60 people got. Now we'll see this year. The last year it was 1,600 something went for Ayurveda. So the first 1,600 goes for allopathy, dentistry and all dental this thing. Then, you know, those the left out or the later ones goes into Ayurveda or Siddha. We don't want that to happen. And we'll see what will happen now also. So these, to understand these things, we have to know, we have to study the other shastras as well. Ekam shastram adhiyano na vidyal shastra nischayam tasmat bahusrudam shastram. Sushruta has said it very clearly. You have to learn other sciences, other shastras to understand the core of Ayurveda. To understand more about Ayurveda, you should know the Tantra Shastra, Mantra Shastra, Jyotisham. You can't talk about astrology. We have great astrological inventions happening, already done already. Astronomy, great, particularly Jyotisham. Where can we teach Jyotisham, will it become secular in nature? So these are some of the things I think we can, we should go forward, or we should be really courageous enough to step forward as teachers, become the gurus, and then, take this forward to get this, enacted in Bharata, at least in the next 5 years. I am not talking about 2047. It is too late. I will not be there. So I would like to see it in my lifetime. So we are doing the best that we can. And from this year, Gurukula system of education is coming into existence in Ayurveda. 7.5 years, it will be a residential course. And then you can say, oh, it will not happen. It cannot happen in these colleges. No problems. I am not against any modernity or any Western sciences. No problems. See, these are two parallels one should understand. One is from subtle to the gross. The other one is from the gross to the subtle. We have already envisioned the subtleness of this thing. And then we are traveling towards that. All our Shastras, if you look, it is towards that subtleness called the, moksha, or the, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So all these, it is all based on dharma, dharmic principles, and that has been envisioned. The other way is of the Cartesian way of compartmentalization things and, trying to a reductionistic approach, which you can see it in the Western medicine or Western sciences. It is not bad. These are two parallels. They saw it from one side, we are seeing it from the other side. Why should we emulate or copy what only the West has found out? Let them do their research. We are nowhere near Western science, how they are progressing. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and it is going far ahead of times, and we are nowhere there. Have you seen any recent Nobel laureate, doing from our in medical sciences from our country? You will not find in the near future because it is too far away. So, but what we have is the resources. What we have is the traditional knowledge systems which are here. We have these which they don't have. Even if they would have studied, they don't have that what is called the Sahaja Jnanam. Sahaja Jnanam is by your genetics. You are born in this country, grown up in a particular value systems, culture, language, food, even food. And then you have that Sahaja Jnanam which has been over hereditarily transferred, so that you will understand, even if you don't know anything about Ayurveda. When I say Pancha Mahabhuta, immediately it will strike you. Saptadhatu, Mala, you will understand immediately. Why? Because that Sahaja Jnanam is there. That is not there in the West. They don't have, unfortunately. We have that Sahaja Jnanam. So utilize that Sahaja Jnanam to understand more into the core of our traditional knowledge systems, our values, it should not end up, we had this, all these sciences here. When somebody discovers, in the West, something, we will immediately say, oh, okay, it was there in our, ancient texts. Come on, that is not what we need. What I would like to say is like a day before yesterday. This is what I am saying is what came in Nature magazine. Just 4 days back on epigenetic inheritance of diet-induced and sperm-borne mitochondrial RNAs. It appeared in 5th June 2024 in Nature. An article I was just going through. Epigenetic inheritance of diet-induced and sperm-borne mitochondrial RNAs. How they contribute to the, the sperm inherits the genetics, this thing. Very clearly told in Ayurveda about Bijam, Bija Bhagam, Bija Bhaga Avayavam, and very well explained. Shodasha Samskaram that we have, Garbhadanam, Pumsavanam, and all this goes very scientifically done, described. How many of us know that? How many of us has gone into the depth? It is published in Nature magazine by Westerners. Come on, which we knew thousands of years back. Then we sit and cry, oh, it came in Nature, they hijacked our theory. So what? If you are not clever enough, if you are not fast enough, if you don't have your, that self-respect and, you're on that thing that my country and my Rashtra and my that Sattva Bodham, that if you don't have the knowledge that Vijnanam and Jnanam that we have is still relevant, somebody will steal it. Germany, I was telling to Lakshmanji, hundreds of, I'll tell. There are manuscripts in Heidelberg University, decoded by 20 odd Germans, Sanskritam. They speak fluently Sanskrit, and they are decoding it, and they are writing in German. Who knows? After 100 years, all these which have been decoded by from our Sanskrit texts, which are there in Heidelberg University, they will not let you in because only the Germans are allowed in. And I have been to Houston in Indian history of medicine. Houston history of Indian history of medicine. There are 6,000 manuscripts sitting there. I went and saw it there. There was a Dominic Vujastik who was a curator there. He said, if it was there, it would have been eaten by the termites. At least it is here, very well, protected. If you want, I can give you a copy. 6,000 plus. Nearly 100,000 manuscripts of Ayurveda alone are lost forever. We don't know where they are. Probably individual possession or in some universities in the West. So we need to reclaim them back as in whatever way we can. So very fast into 5 minutes, I'll go through this, and because I thought I should be, on a particular, topic that I should deal into. That's why, I concentrated on Vriksha Ayurveda. Again, one branch of Ayurveda which deals about, Vriksha, the trees and plants and everything. Aushadhi Suktam, sir, in Rigveda, very well describes about the Aushadhas. Osham means disease. That which removes the disease is Aushadhi, and which has been, and even Vriksha, the trees have diseases. Though, so like we treat the human beings, the trees are also treated. And then, we can see how they are done. And the historical perspective, as you know, it is again more than 3000 BC. It is not just a new thing. Which was there in Rigveda and Atharvaveda, Puranic literature, Buddhist literature, Samhita period, Ashtanga Sangraha, and so many people you can see, Parashara, and in so many Nikandus, this have been very well described. How many botany students or researchers, teachers are there who would have heard of Vriksha Ayurveda or who would have done any research in Vriksha Ayurveda? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand who are botanists here. Or please raise your hand who are the researchers in life sciences or botany here. No one. So please tell your colleagues and your researchers, yes, there are a lot of things in Vriksha Ayurveda which you can get into the PhD. Even there are a lot of PhDs you can get from Vriksha Ayurveda alone. So you can see how the historical perspective here very well. So many people have written. So this is about the Vriksha Ayurveda, the definition. They also emphasize the importance of Chitrikaranam. I want to just concentrate this particular thing. Biotechnological interventions. We heard of biotechnology, nanotechnology, all those things only recently, maybe 20, 30 years back. But see, thousands of years back, Chitrikaranam has been very well explained in Vriksha Ayurveda. Topics described. See, I want to go into that because why I don't want to go into the depth of this because there are hardly any life sciences people here. You will get bored up. But I would like to tell you that please tell your colleagues in botany or researchers in botany to go into the depth. There are a lot of classical literature available, which deals about all these various sowing techniques. Of course, in agriculture practice also, you can very well do this. And plant protection activity, oral medicines or biological control and treatment, pesticides, germicides, all these things, and biofertilizers which have been very well dealt with. So ancient biotechnological interventions. You can get a mango with the smell of jasmine. It's a myth, right? It's a myth. You can grow pomegranate in a jackfruit tree. Is it possible? Not possible. But it is told, it has been described in Vriksha Ayurveda. Who has done the research? This is something like, where John Woodruff says, what I cannot understand is nonsense. If you cannot understand, it is nonsense. You have not done anything. The West, Germany and other countries, they are doing research into. Then we will say, oh yes, it was there in Vriksha Ayurveda. So what? Hell with it. So we are talking about the pre and post treatment recommended for seeds, how to grow seeds, scientific input regarding how all these these things are done, relevant Vriksha Ayurveda prescription for plant health management, very well told about how certain herbs are used, and nutritional care, how you can improve the nutritional value of the plants in particular, and the Kunabajalam, which is a liquid bio manure, which is very famous. Well, some research is happening in some quarters, but not effective. And then you have this nutritional care I have already mentioned, and Kunabajalam I already mentioned. And regarding growth promoters, biomanure, liquid manure, I am talking about Vriksha Ayurveda, Upavana Vinodam, Brihat Samhita, all these texts which clearly deals with these subjects. And then you have disease conditions, attack of worms, insecticides, germicides, pesticides, natural, organic. You don't have to depend on Monsanto for that. Monsanto has declared 20% of the world will be fed by us in 2030 or something like that. Do we have an aim for that in our country? And then disease conditions, again, about attacks on worms. It goes on. Induce scent in unscented flowers. If a flower doesn't have a scent, you can induce scent by certain methodologies. And then you have this color changing techniques of cotton, which has been practiced here, and this was which astonished the British people how the Indians could change the color of at that time when color was not even invented in the West. When they were climbing trees, our ancestors were in the universities, mind you. And biotechnological intervention and fruiting and flowering profusely irrespective of seasons. Without season, or you can there are the methodologies. And disinfectant recipe, as you can see, how a combination here given, potential linkage of agriculture for future application, utilize of Vriksha Ayurveda preparations in commercial agriculture, all, again, Vedic gardens can be designed such garden, and utilization of organic waste like chicken or meat for preparation of Kunabajala by suitable methodologies, and agriculture for, again, explore the possibility of incorporating Vriksha Ayurveda preparations for technology in prevailing farming systems. How many have we looked into all these things? Like Vriksha Ayurveda, we have Mriga Ayurveda, Hastya Ayurveda, Pashu Ayurveda, and so many other Ayurvedas also, where, which are again, Palakapiyam and all, which deals only with, problems with the elephants. And to establish, so you can see the scope of developing diagnostic protocol for endogenous and exogenous disorders based on fundamental principle, Vata, Pitta and Kapha, the Tridosha based thing, you can apply it on the trees and also understand, how the soil can be enriched. We are introducing so many monoculture plantations here, the soil is depleted, and how we can enrich the soil back to, its original this thing. Scope of developing R&D programs are related to this. Again, following the even WHO guidelines. And, these are some of the R&D programs which can be based on Vriksha Ayurveda concepts. And for the researchers here, I thought I would share these things. And to develop suitable alternatives for certain ingredients of Vriksha Ayurveda products which are either inaccessible or unavailable. And you can see there are nearly 123 prescriptions for, for presence of groundwater, sir. A study on plants described indicators of availability of presence of groundwater. There are nearly 123 prescriptions told in Vriksha Ayurveda, in Upavana Vinodam, and in Brihat Samhita as well. So there are, I just ran through because, I would like to conclude with, what Vivekananda ji said, education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. What is that? Perfection is there. It is just, education is just the manifestation. It has to happen. It has to blossom. It has to flower. Every student, they are not, they are now, they don't listen to us. They don't, teachers will be outdated soon. Do you know how? Artificial intelligence. You don't have to teach anything. You just Google, you just have the chat GPT and the student will come and ask you questions. It is already there in the net, everything. So what will the teachers teach tomorrow's teachers? That is where we have to go into the depth of our systems, our Bharatiya systems, our Bharatiya Shastras, where you need to have practical applications to it. Shaivism, Kashmir Shaivism, 50 odd scholars are there in Chicago University, but they don't know how to practice Shaivism there. For that you have to come to Padmuna Kavagal, 13 sacred groves in Kerala, where this Kashmiri Shaivism, Kashmir it is lost, it is not there because of the infiltration of the terrorists and all, it is gone forever. But 13 sacred groves, including Kodungallur, sir, he is from Kodungallur. Kodungallur is such a kav, that is a sacred grove. It is not just a spiritual center, it is a highly evolved spiritual center which is very scientific. He hails from Kodungallur, and there is a temple you should visit. And that is one of the oldest thing you can, where Kashmiri Shaivism, theory is there in US, theory is there in Abhinav Gupta's Tantra Loka, but practice, somehow nobody knows who brought it to Kerala at that point of time, and it is still being practiced in these temples. The practicals are here in our country. So I would like every teacher here to become a guru in the real sense and impart your wisdom to the Shishyas. Then you become Shishya Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam. Then that transference of wisdom happens. Otherwise it will not. So let us strive. Let us start learning. Ati, di, bo, tham, acharanam, pracharanam. I am still learning. Ati, di, learning. Bo, tham. Then you become, you understand that. Acharanam, achinodiki shastrarthan, ajare stapayati adi, soyam acharate tasmad acharya uchyate. An acharya can be called only that person who has very well completely studied that particular subject and who is a practicing person. Only that person can be called as acharya. Otherwise you will just remain as just teachers. So ABRSM would love to see, I'm sure Lakshmanji would agree to this, ABRSM would love to see its members, at least Theta and Uvas, to become the gurus of Bharata and raise our Shastras to the highest level possible, that we become a Vishwaguru, not in 2047, but at least by 2030. Namaste, Dhanyavad. Sorry for taking such a long time. I didn't look at the watch. Sorry.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, I stood there as chairman, and Lakshmanji has asked me to be a man who is usually, just assessing the whatever they have said. So I changed that place to here. So I am now giving an assessment of whatever spoken by these dignitaries. I've been very cruel enough to stop Vaidya Vinod Kumar. He could have continued more because he was giving a big lecture. He was prepared with a big lecture, and you were also expecting something more, but I have been cruel enough because the organizers told me to stop. And also I've been cruel enough to stop you from asking questions because time does not permit. I'm very sorry because I see your all faces coming up with questions, but I stop it because of other constraints. I got Desai sir's, in between I got Desai sir's this card. And in this, you should all get it from him because he has written his name not in the usual English style, but in phonetics completely changed. Probably if he writes it in English, his name will be mispronounced. So he has taken care, and he is a true Bharatiya. He has changed his card also. Very interesting personality. He went through many aspects of Bharatiyata and Sanatana Dharma in technology, in science, in Bhagavad Gita, in engineering, what all knowledge systems that existed in India, he was going through, giving examples, beautiful examples. I was surprised to see how the Indians derived the value of pi. Still, this is an unsolved problem, but centuries ago, they have estimated at least a good estimate, and still what the Europeans are just copying, and we are not opposing that. Pythagoras' theorem is explained in an Indian text, Bodhayana. And somebody from Kerala, he traveled up to Nalanda for teaching something. So the integration of Kerala, integration of Indian knowledge system also he explained in a beautiful way, and you need to get his talks more and more. This is a limited time schedule here, and you should all colleges should call him, and he will be able to explain these things in days together, and you will be enriched in a big way. So that was my assessment. I am not a person to assess his capacity and assess his knowledge base, but I just, for the namesake, I'm assessing him. And I've been cruel enough to Vinod ji. He told me, you stop. I may exceed. You please come and stop. If I'm not stopping, just pull me. So I pulled him. So he stopped. And his Vrikshayur Veda is itself, I think, there's a content for one day deliberation. The Vrikshayur Veda. I recently heard somebody was talking about Vrikshayur Veda, some techniques, something else, and I was not knowing the name I heard, but I was not knowing about the content inside. It is very interesting. What biotechnology, which was started in 1970s in the United States, this was there in our home, in our household. That was there in our household activity. And these type of secrets, I'm surprised. This is our hidden secrets. We have to come up. And there is a potential, not only in R&D, but in economics and in business also. What all wonder we can do in international business if you get hold of this knowledge. This is a secret knowledge system now, and make it open. Everybody enjoy that knowledge, and everybody practice that knowledge. And his speech his deliberations were extremely, giving more depth into the Indian knowledge system. So also, He's a Coimbaturian. He was, from Kovai. He knows Tamil. So you get hold of him and arrange more talks, and you will be enlightened, and you will be you will be getting more knowledge on Vriksha Ayurveda, and many Ayurvedas he told. Probably that also he may be able to explain then. So I take this opportunity to thank the specialist in Indian knowledge system, and also thank the audience for very patient listening. Thank you.